Hey y'all, it is Tuesday evening. I guess it's just about 6:15 or so. And I realized I never recorded a Tuesday tally and had nothing to post. So this is going to be a little bit different. Man, I look weird. I need my glasses on. Hang on a second. Let me go and get my glasses. That's better. The weird things we notice about ourselves. We are our biggest critics, but it is what it is. So I got my glasses and I can see now everything across the street. It's not a blur. And I feel like my face looks like my face. So, not going to do a full Tuesday tally because, of course, time. I need to shoot this really quick and just get it posted with minimal editing. I've got mosquitoes flying around me. That is one thing I need to remember to do, is to refill my Tougher Than Tom mosquito baits in the yard so that I'm not getting eaten up by mosquitoes. It's that time of year. The summer rains are here every day. Well, not really. We're getting them a couple times a week. They haven't been consistent every single day. We got a little bit of a break from them, but the forecast says they're coming back. So I'm going to go really quickly, and the focus is going to be on my green stalks today. So let's get into it. So I got my additional pieces to expand my blueberry green stalk. And what I did is I'm going to be breaking it up into 3 towers instead of 2. So this is what's going on. I've got the remainder of the sweet potatoes that are going to be here tomorrow. They should have been here today, but there was a delay. I'm going to put one of the varieties in green stalks. I also put my replacement Georgia Jets in green stalks, and then I've got 2 places in the yard, containers that are big enough that I'm going to put those in. And I'm also putting the remainder of my cowpeas that are over there on the table. Excuse the mess. We really need to get out here and organize the garage, but that's not been my priority recently. But the rest of those cowpeas I'm going to get put into green stalks to replace the ones that were stolen by birds. So yeah, the blueberry green stalks. Then we have the chocolate green stalks. This one, I believe, is a mix of 3 different sweet potatoes. I don't remember. And the green stalk is wet, and so are the leaves, because we just had a downpour of rain. You would have no idea that we literally just had a thunderstorm if you're looking at this sky. But we did. It rained for a couple hours, and it was extremely dark. So that green stalk's doing pretty good. This is a sweet potato that was left over. I want to say it's a Covington, but I don't remember. I just had that last one. It was a little scraggly, so I just popped it into that bag and said, you know, if it survives, it survives. I'll get some sweet potatoes from it. Never mind those pepper plants that are there. Never mind the okra. It's looking a little scraggly. Never mind these peppers here. Let's get on back here to the other chocolate green stalk. The grass is wet and mushy. Well, we can't get to the other chocolate one right now, but we'll do the green one. These sweet potatoes are doing very good here. I've got this one that insists on trying to get down to the ground. And I did go ahead and put in the support to help keep these guys off the ground. I really don't want sweet potatoes getting loose in my garden because I will never get them out. So I've got to be vigilant and make sure that I keep these vines off of the ground. And as you can see, it's not as easy as it looks. All right, so these are doing okay. These guys are getting a little beat up as they go around the back, but I'll trim that hedge up to give it a little bit more space. But yeah, sweet potatoes. This green stalk has cowpeas in it. These are the red rippers. They've been in here for, I guess, about a week and a half, and they are putting on some growth, but there's a few empty pockets, and I'm going to refill those with the seedlings that are in the garage. We'll come back to that one. This one is super happy. I don't think I really need to say anything about this one. There are a couple of pockets that are empty because the peas went missing, but I'll go ahead and fill those in with the seedlings that are in the garage as well. Sweet potatoes trying to escape. Let me just tuck this back in here. Hopefully you guys can see, because when I bend down I can't see the camera. We've got a sweet potato. You guys see this sweet potato that has snuck its way all the way over here? Yeah, you don't go there. It's not where I want you to grow. I don't want you putting potatoes in that pot. So I'm gonna have to come out here and tack some of these down. I don't think I'm gonna trim them anymore. I tried to get some cuttings, and a lot of the cuttings are struggling. I've done 2 sets of cuttings and they're not rooting properly. So I think I'm going to abandon that. But I don't know. I say things and then I turn around and I do something completely different. So I might still come out here and do cuttings because I got a ton of sweet potato vines. All right, so same old thing, you know, just sweet potato vines doing what they do. And you'll notice that every variety grows a little bit differently. The leaves are a little bit different shaped, a little bit different color. Some vine more than others. That is to be expected between varieties. And there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. In this green stalk, we have the purple hull pink eye peas, and I've got a ton of aphids. I don't know if you guys can see the aphids on them. Ton of aphids on here. I'm really not worried about these aphids. Beans and peas get aphids. It's just it's part of growing them here in South Florida. But I mean, these are all doing fine. And this is an entire green stalk of these peas. Got one here starting to flower. So we are going to start seeing some peas being produced here really, really soon. I don't want you reaching over here and grabbing onto anything else. Can you please behave and stay on the green stalk, please? Please. Please. Behave. I'll show you guys really quickly how pretty the Vitex is since it has leafed out and come back in bloom. There's actually a bee having a little bit of a meal. Can't pass that up. We love our pollinators. All right. We ain't looking at that mess. Let's go find another green stalk to look at. We're going to walk through a little weed jungle here because the rain and I haven't been out here. But I'll get this all taken care of. This will be our task for the weekend. The herbs and such that are in here are struggling. It's getting a little bit too hot for most of these things, but I got some thyme and some oregano that are still going down here, and those are fine. Some parsley still down there. The sorrel that I just kind of moved from the other containers and popped in here, and some tarragon and a little bit of basil. Basically just as placeholders in this green stalk because I didn't want it to sit empty for the entire summer. So that's going to be replanted. Disregard the craziness that's going on over here, guys, and let's check on the sweet potatoes in the greenhouse. You guys know it's always a surprise when I open this door to see what the Beauregards and the Orleans are doing. It gets darker and darker in here every time I come by. Look at those babies grow. Now, if I get sweet potato production that mirrors what this top growth is doing, I'm going to be in a world of trouble, because that's going to be way more sweet potatoes than I know what to do with. Look at them trying to escape. What do I do? Now remember, these things are all growing through those baskets that I put on to keep the rats from eating the tender growth when I first planted the slips. And these don't care. They don't care. Beauregard is quite a bully. And that is why it is one of the top commercially produced sweet potatoes. So I've got toads that are going into the greenhouse and really kind of making a mess, but it's a safe place for them. I understand why they want to go in there. I just don't really want them making a mess in there. Alright. So that is what's going on with the greenstalks, guys. Not a whole lot, but it's not exactly nothing. So, shortest Tuesday tally of all time is this one. Hopefully they'll all be a little bit longer as we move forward. If this weather cooperates, they definitely will be longer. It's just been a busy couple days, and trying to work between the rain and my workload and taking the kids places, it was just too much. I'm not going to worry myself about it. It is what it is. So until next time, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye. Alright, so I completely forgot to come back to the maple greenstalk. So let me just squeeze over here and do it for you. I need to give it a spin anyway. I've not spun this thing in, I don't know, I guess about a week or so. So let me just do that. Okay, so that was a task, trying to unzip the cover and tuck it in so that you guys can actually see. I've not shown it to you in a while, but there's sweet potatoes growing. There's strawberry plants that are doing pretty good. A couple of them need to get fertilized. I've not fertilized it in a little bit, but I mean, they're producing strawberries. Because they're not getting fertilized, they're not making big berries, but it's producing. So that's better than nothing. These guys are pretty big. Now, all of these strawberries are going to have to come out of here because this is going to be my brassica greenstalk. I'm going to fill it with collards and kale and cabbage and kohlrabi and turnips. So I've got to get these strawberries out of here and plant it somewhere else. I just don't know where I'm going to put them. I think I'm going to dedicate a bed to the strawberries. Perhaps this bed.